You mentioned, of course, that you've been watching all the politics that's been going on at the India Today South Conclave, all the discussions. Let me throw a bit of a political googly at you. There will be people in this audience, I know friends of mine who are saying they won't watch India versus Pakistan because they are still angry with what happened in Pehalgaon and believe that the cricketers should not be playing Pakistan. Do you feel that players get affected by voices like that? Does the surround sound make an impact? Would you support those who say, we don't want to watch India playing Pakistan because of what happened in Pehalgaon?
So all I can say is, from an Indian cricketer point of view, they would be of the mindset is, our job is to go and play the sport, we will do it. Now, as a fan, if you choose to watch the match, good. If you don't choose to watch the match because of whatever has happened politically, I completely understand. I don't think anybody can hold anything against people who don't want to see, because it's a decision that they take on their own because of their patriotism of their country and whatever has happened. So all I can say is, being part of the system, if you're told to do something like go and play the game, we will. If you're said, if the mandate was that no, don't, then I don't think the players would have played. So we almost detach ourselves against what our personal opinion is and just do what we are expected to do at that stage.
We saw that video of 2007. The captain of the team, as you just mentioned, was the iconic Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who is a hero even in these parts now.
He's a bigger hero, actually.
He's a bigger hero now than...
In Tamil Nadu, he's a bigger hero than most other parts of India. I mean, CSK is such an iconic franchise, and he has been the heart and soul of that franchise for about 18 years now.
You know, do you have mixed feelings, if I may ask, as a cricketer about Dhoni? You all both started your career roughly around the same time. In fact, your international debut even preceded his. Along comes Dhoni and takes over that wicket-keeping slot. And Dinesh Karthik then has to reinvent himself, partly as an opening batsman, find new ways to play for India. How do you look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni then? As this cricketer who transformed, revolutionized the game? Or someone who was so good that even good players like you had no chance to play in the Indian team?
When MS Dhoni came in, as you said, I had made my debut for India before him. And I had gone on an India A tour with him just before playing for India. Both of us were there in it together. And observing him, I thought, who's this young guy? So he had long hair and he wore a very gold big watch. And he used to do a lot of bowling to me. And I used to think, why is MS Dhoni bowling to me when he's not even practicing keeping? And he was very different from the normal cricketer that I have played against. Very soft-spoken, isn't extroverted by any chance, a big introvert. So even in that team, we had a lot of players, you know, Sairaj Batule was our captain, Ramesh Paul, a lot of players were there. He hardly communicated with anybody. His roommate was Akash Chopra, spent a lot of time in the room, in the ground. He'll come, he'll do what is asked of him, which is a warm-up, he'll bat for a bit if required, but he enjoyed bowling. And that was his personality. So I looked at him and said, okay, here is another cricketer, we'll see what he does. And I left to play for India, and then he got his opportunity. So he went to Kenya and played an India A tournament, and he was the man of the series. But there is a difference. There are certain people who will play and win man of the series, which is fine, which is the way you play. But there are some people who will make you sit up and be like, wow, there is something special about this guy. And I haven't seen that side of Dhoni. So when he played for India, I hadn't seen him play much, because he plays for BR, I play for Tamil Nadu, we don't play against each other. That A series in Kenya, everybody spoke about one person, because he brought a novelty factor to it. The power which he hit a ball, people had said they had not seen many in the past. They were comparing, you know, people with grateful like Gary Sobers used to hit those big sixes. But this MS Dhoni has such a different technique, but he is hitting a ball as strong as anyone people had ever seen. So that was the word doing the rounds. And India at that stage were keeping with Rahul Dravid. Now, Rahul Dravid at the stage where, boss, just leave me, I want to do some batting, I'm happy doing it. My body is going through a hard time trying to be a wicketkeeper. So they were searching for a wicketkeeper. I filled in that role for a very small period, like in a movie I did a guest role. But the main role was slotted for MS Dhoni. He came in and he took India at first, completely swept them away off their feet, and soon enough, international cricket as well, because they hadn't seen a personality like that. Long flowing hair, always had a smile, had witty things to say, wasn't in your face, very respectful human being. But most importantly, I think he brought a sense of calm in chasing. I think Michael Bevan had done it for a period of time, but MS Dhoni did it in a very different way, something that was very eye-catchy. Used to hit those sixes at the end of the game. And I remember at that point when he just walked into international cricket, after about the first 1 or 2 years, bowlers used to speak about how much pressure was there bowling to Dhoni compared to other players. So he had done something which nobody else had. And so when somebody like that comes along and is ahead of you in the queue, you need to immediately look inward and say, what do I need to do to bring out the best version of myself? So I became a bit like a chameleon. If there was an opening slot available, I'll go back to Tamil Nadu, ask them, sir, can I go get runs opening, find a place in the team as an opener. If there's a middle order slot available, I'll say, can I just bat middle order? And Tamil Nadu was very accommodating because we had a good set of players and they were accommodative enough to say, okay, you bat middle order. I used to find ways to get into the Indian team, but my challenge was to hold on to that place. I put so much pressure on myself to just hold on to that place that at times I didn't do justice to what was needed. Let's put it that way. But the one thing that I learned through that journey is, you need to adapt to what is being thrown at you, but most importantly, you need to be determined and resilient. And I think that is what that journey taught me the most, because I constantly kept doing things that were very challenging for other people, because people were not comfortable batting at 6 and 7. If you understand the role that I took in the last 5 years of my career, I used to bat 6 to 8 balls on an average. Now you ask any batter to make an impact in 6 to 8 balls is next to impossible. Because what is the impact that you can make? But I stood by it, I worked on my game. I'm not a Pollard or an MS Dhoni to have brute power. So I needed to use my cricketing nous and the fact that I had certain skills with my hands, and I use it to the best of that and then create an impact. So I did things which were novel in my own way, but I realized that became my greatest challenge, my greatest, attribute, so to say, was that I was very determined and resilient to be the best. So that always kept challenging me, kept pushing me in other directions. So to answer your question, MS Dhoni, taught me a lot of things in very different ways.